Hi guys, this is editorial analysis for 4th November 2016. Let's go to the first one. This is from the Hindu newspaper. We have already done this. You know that the government has proposed amendments to the Citizenship Act of 1955. According to this, minorities from the countries Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, minorities that are from these countries, that are Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains, Parsis, these people from these countries, um, the ones that have come into India, except Muslims, with or without valid documents, will cease to be called illegal immigrants and they will be eligible to apply for citizenship under naturalization. So the author here discusses what will be the implication of such an action if this amendment were to be passed in the Citizenship Act of 1955. What are to be implications, and some of it we have already begun to see. We'll discuss it in 4 points. See, the implication is expected to be far worse in Assam than the rest of the country. And the first point is that the Assamese, they see it as a dilution of Assam Accord of 1985. They think that it's putting their indigenous language and culture at peril. According to Assam Accord, the cutoff date for citizenship in Assam is March 25, 1971. People who came before March 25, 1971 into Assam, uh, they will be, according to Assam Accord, they were eligible to apply for citizenship. But now this amendment will make the cutoff date December 31, 2014. So that means all the people who came after 1971 also in Assam will be able to apply for citizenship, and that really pisses them off. Second point, their intellectuals and vernacular press are particularly pissed off. Third point is that they are calling for an 80s like agitation, and especially by all Assam Students Union outfits like that, they are already calling for agitation. And fourth point is intra community tension, like for example Hindu Muslim tension may also rise in Assam because of this. So that's one editorial from the Hindu. The next editorial is from Indian Express. It is on the whole issue of triple talaq. Some Muslim people are saying that if the government were to ban triple talaq, it would affect the Muslim community's right to freedom of religion under Article 25. So this author says that it will not affect their right to freedom of religion, and he gives two reasons for that. Firstly, he says that Supreme Court on such matters, whenever there is a debate on religious freedom matters, it has a litmus test. What it does is that it asks a question whether this particular practice is integral to the concerned religion. Is it absolutely important for the practice of this concerned religion? And then court looks into authentic texts and their interpretations. So in Islam, they have something called the things that are written in Quran and Hadith, they are called farz or wajib. That means they are obligatory in nature for the practice of Islam. But all the other actions are mustahab or jaiz. That means mustahab means recommended or jaiz means permissible. So whatever Quran and Hadith says, they are obligatory. So the constitution, the courts cannot touch that. What is mustahab, that is recommended, also can be protected by state. But what is jaiz, that is just permissible, merely permissible, is something that does not fall under the protective umbrella. Okay, so let's say that triple talaq, we have to see whether triple talaq is absolutely integral to the practice of Islam. We'll have to ask that question. And if it is just merely permissible, then like it does not have to be necessarily protected by the state. And the second reason he gives that is that under Article 25 there is a right to freedom, a fundamental right to freedom of religion, but it goes on to clarify. It says that nothing in this article shall prevent the state from regulating or restricting by law any economic, financial, political or other secular activity which may be associated with religion. So right to freedom of religion under Article 25 is not absolute. It is subject to certain conditions. Guys, the third editorial is from Indian Express. This talks about, recently our Prime Minister, he has proposed that All India Judicial Services should be established. Under Article 312 of the Constitution, Rajya Sabha can establish a new All India Services, and it has been in talks since our independence times that we need an All India Judicial Services, but it hasn't come into existence till now. So we are facing certain problems, like there's always 20% vacancies in our courts, and then subordinate judiciary does not attract the best talent, best legal talent. So in 1976, Sardar Swaran Singh committee, he said that under Article 312, that is the power of Rajya Sabha to create a new All India All India service. If there was an All India Judicial Service to be created, anyone below the rank of district judge would not come under the AIJS, All India Judicial Services. So for that reason, trial courts are already eliminated from that, if that is how we have to interpret the All India Judicial Services. So but if we exclude these subordinate courts, subordinate positions, then the efficiency of these subordinate positions will be affected. It's already not attracting the best talent. So the 14th Law Commission said that All India Judicial Services is needed indeed for efficiency in judiciary. In 1982, Chief Minister's Conference, All India Judicial Services was approved in principle, but then they had problems like what if the recruited people from such an All India Services, what if they lack the knowledge of the regional language, then their efficiency would be affected. Also, the promotion of those people who are already into who are into judicial services through the state services will be curtailed if there was to be an all India services in judiciary. And it would also erode the high court's power over subordinate courts and thus affecting the independence of judiciary. So these problems were pointed out, thus marring any probability of AIJS coming into existence. But the author concludes by saying that if it were to come into existence, it will improve the quality of judges. It will improve the quality of our judicial officers. 1/3 of the judges would enter the High Court through the route of promotions from subordinate courts. That means judges of high courts will be also from these services, and if they are into career judiciary, that means they will be more accountable and competent, and also these kind of recruitments will be more equitable in nature. It will ensure social equity. Let's move on to the next editorial, the fourth one. This is from the Hindustan Times. In this article, the author sings praises of the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act. It says that Center has given a date, that is May the 1st, 2017, as a cut-off date after which builders can no longer defer the deadline on completion and delivering of homes to buyers. Builders must give the date of possession to buyers in writing, and they have to pay the money deposited by the buyer at the rate of 10.9% interest in case they breach this. Builders must also submit clear blueprints, and their ads on completion and possession must be verified. And 70% of the sale proceeds must be deposited in an escrow account. So these are the good things in Real Estate Regulation and Development Act. Let's move on to the next editorial quickly. This is from the Hindu Business Line. It talks about that the sustainable development goals that have to be achieved by the year 2030. According to SDG 7, we have to achieve universal energy security by 2030. But we still are facing problems in India. The first one is more than 60 million households in India are still unelectrified. Second point, often main villages are electrified and then the surrounding hamlets are also counted as electrified even though they are not. Third point, even though BPL families get free connection, but sometimes above poverty line families can't afford. So we need to subsidize their wiring, metering, connection cost, etc. And discoms, fourth point, discoms are suffering from lack of revenue stability in our country. So that is one problem. That's it. Thank you.